Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of First 40 Turns. We've got ourselves a game with Khmer, and a very interesting start. We're going to discuss our settlement options, and then we're going to discuss, we're going to do our normal thing, but I do want to discuss a little bit about their abilities, the river adjacencies, and some of the things with the aqueducts and things like that that help you grow very tall with Khmer. Which gives you some different flexibilities in the game. They're stressed very hard as their benefit towards religious victories because of the extra faith they can generate and the relics that they can acquire. Maybe you could use the relics towards a tourism victory as well in a culture game. Be interesting to do as well. That'd be an interesting challenge. But they're not a particularly strong civilization, but they're very interesting, and we're going to discuss them in this edition of First 40 Turns. Okay, so options. A lot of them. We love these horses. That's fabulous. How much do we like that, right? Right out of the gate, just in case you wanted to go aggro. A couple luxuries, which is nice. There's some good tiles all around. Plenty of wetness, if you will. Option number one would be to go across the river and turn 2 settle on the 2-2 tile. You would immediately, for sure, no matter what, have a 2-2 tile there and a 2-2 tile there. Not to mention a 3-1 horse tile that you'll be able to work into a 3-2. And not to mention whatever's out here. So a very, very strong option would be to work your way onto a 2-2 city center there. Option number 2 would be to settle in place. You would only have a 2-1 city center because this is grasslands. And only the 1-2-2 tile in your first ring, although you would have a 1-3. And then you'd have a 2-2 there and a 1-3 and another 2-2 in your next ring. So again, lots of options for tiles, just slightly less than if you moved there. Option number 3 would be to head south along the river and settle straight down on the dies, giving you an immediate luxury, which will help keep you ecstatic early on in the game. And as you get your second city down, stuff like that, you'll be very happy and ready to the gate. It'll allow you to work an extra faith every single turn towards your pantheon, and it also, by stepping to here, allows you to have a 2-2 tile and a 2-2 tile in your first ring in addition to the 1-3. You still have a 2-2 and a 3-1 in your second ring there, as well as a 1-3 and a 2-2 with gold elephant in your second ring. So you are bringing that elephant into your second ring if you move down as well. There's lots and lots of ways to look at this. There's no wrong answer, but I think the best option for my own personal taste would be to settle on the dies, get that faith going right away, and have lots of good tiles in the area, particularly the elephants moving a step closer. Just like that. Yeah, the Great Merchant with 2 Great Work slots is a good... I like that one a lot. The Great Merchant where the bank can carry any 2 Great Works. That's very strong for a lot of different civilizations. So we're going to do that. It's the way I want to go. Even without having moved my warrior, it's the way I definitely want to go. We're going to step on this hill. If you stepped here, you would learn nothing anew. Because you'd be on flat ground and you'd be surrounded by trees. You would not learn anything else. By stepping here, we're at least going to learn a little bit about what's going on out here. And then we can decide to step on the elephants later if we want. So there's our information. It gets much flatter out here. River winding its way up there. 2-2 stone in the distance. So a lot of different options. Just like that. It doesn't really matter if we choose something to research because we're not going to start actually gaining any research points. A lot of people out there are like, oh, I don't know, turn 2 start on a deity game. I don't know if I like that idea, dude. I don't mind it. Turn 2 start's not that big a deal, especially if you're getting the return that we're going to get. Just like that. Whew. Hello, sailor. We're going to want to go check that out. Some nice mountains up here, so if you were going to go with the need for a campus, that'd be great. Our holy sites we're going to want to keep on the river because his holy sites gain 2 food and a housing if placed on a river, which is very nice. So, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, you could emphasize the importance of adjacencies and go ahead and settle a +3 in the mountains. You know, there's a minimum of a +3 right here that you could grab. If the adjacencies mean that much to you, then fine. But we can build, as you saw there, a +3 faith and a +1 amenity aqueduct as well. So throwing an aqueduct down somewhere along here, who knows where you want to put it. Particularly somewhere where you can have some where you can put some farms around it would be a good idea, because you get +2 food from farms that are next to the aqueduct. So you could potentially, for instance, put the aqueduct here, and then there's a couple farms here that would be super powerful. So, you know, that's a possibility right there. Those would become 4-1 farms immediately. If you put the aqueduct there, then you could put the holy site there, for instance, and as long as you, that would get an extra adjacency, and then as long as you kept these 2 trees, or even these 2 trees, you might want to chop that down for a mine, but this would be, you keep this one because it's on the elephant, and you could keep this one for watermill. So, you know, again, I'm talking about, I get into this, you guys know me. You guys know me. I get into the adjacency talk. I apologize. I'll try to get off of that a little bit. But the trees will help an adjacency for that holy site as well. So there'd be a +2 holy site there, and then you get all the benefits of being on a river, which would be fine. Which you might just like. Okay. What next? Shall we choose something to produce? Because we're turn 2 start, I keep saying that. I'm not sure I want to wait 8 on my settler. I like the idea of going scout, to be honest with you. We are on continents, so we're going to have a lot of room to explore. So I like that idea. There is a wrong answer, Hindu. What do we want again? Elephants for sure is nice, and the horses. So definitely animal husbandry. A lot of chopping going on in the main area of the city. We don't have our typical quarry. We don't have our typical farming for resource. But we are going to be able to build a pasture here, and we're going to get a second luxury out here as well. So we like both of those, and absolutely no doubt about it. If you had that early builder, animal husbandry is the technology that you would like to have. Next turn. There we go. He has now discovered our lands, and he's going to head back right out of the gate. Some bad luck for us. Now, an interesting strategy right here. If I hit him, then he's gone. I'll never be able to touch him again. If I step to here, he'll step that way, which could be, depending on where his barb hut is. If his barb hut is down this way somewhere, if I make him step this way, then I might be able to run interference and get to the barb hut before he does. If I hit him, he could still turn and dart back faster than I can get to him. Right? Everybody knows the video in chat, right? Don't ever scout. Or sorry, don't ever chase a scout. But if you can outmaneuver him, you got a shot. He probably won't step here because he's always his main objective is to avoid contact. And if he steps here, I can hit him. So he's almost definitely going to step either in that direction or in that direction. Or he could potentially step in that direction, just whatever. But if we can get him to go this way or this way, it would allow us to sneak through and go take care of that barb hut. And we know the barb hut's close. We know that's even better. We know the barb hut's close because when we settled on turn 2, he was standing here. So it's the barb hut's like here or maybe here, or it could be on the other side of that mountain, depending on the terrain. There it is. The barb hut is actually a lot closer than we thought, and we're actually gonna have to hurry up. Because when he discovered us here, he immediately was close enough to tell. So, all that discussion for nothing, as it turns out. It's going to start spawning units, and that's not good for us. Although we do have ideal terrain to play on. It's a major defeat. How much do we love these tiles, by the way? And a river over here as well? Okay. We're going to take a hit, and then we're going to start healing. We didn't do very good. I knew we were going to get killed. I didn't know we were going to get killed that bad. The last thing you want to do, though, is hit a second time. If you hit a second time, you're going to be very, very low, and he's still going to be quite high. He'll retaliate and kill you. If you lose that badly, you're going to lose that badly again, and the third time you guys battle, it will be him attacking you to kill you. So if you lose that badly on the first go, make sure you heal. Don't try to get a second heal in thinking, oh, I'll just heal for a while afterward. Or a second hit in thinking I'll heal it for a while afterwards. I don't know why this isn't spawning units, to be honest with you. We're going to fortify to heal. Just like that. I feel like I want to follow that river. And then once this warrior's done here, I could follow the river and check out what's going on over there. But certainly, my first impressions are that my second city would go over here. The mountains are nice and close, so we could potentially put an aqueduct right here, for instance. Get the adjacencies off of the mountain and be next to the river for the benefit. It might not be the skill for that camp. You're right. It's possible. I think it's got to be, though. On turn 2, the scout was standing right here where I am now. Because on turn 2, my settler was standing here, and I put the settler down, and I was able to see past this wall then at that point. And I was able to see this right here. That tile, and that's where he was standing. And that was on turn 2. Meaning if the barb hut spawned with the scout standing beside it on turn 1, on turn 2 it moved to there, and that's when I saw it. The only other possibility is if there's a barb camp here as well, and it was standing there. The other possibility is there's some sort of a weird... we're going to go ahead and store that production for the settler next turn. The other possibility is that there was some sort of weird glitch in the mechanic where because it discovered the city on the same turn that it learned... Or sorry, it discovered the city at the same time it was standing right beside it. It didn't actually physically go back to tell anybody, so some sort of weird glitch in the code, maybe. Again, that's a loss. Gotta continue to heal up. And let's follow this river until our heart's content. There goes a goody hut. Some more hills up here is nice. Pop that settler. What tile are we working? We're working the 1-3. We're about to get to the 2-2-1 next turn, which will be perfectly fine. We'll get that one extra turn in with the 1-3. I don't mind that at all. It's a little bit extra production before we work the 2-2 with gold. Still such a major defeat. Whew. I'm gonna go to here and then cross the river, I think. So there's another nice spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Settling the J wouldn't be a bad idea, since there's no 2-2 city centers around. There's some nice 2-2 tiles and mountains close by. Be interesting. It stayed at 9. Oh, because it's doing one less production per turn. Yeah, if I focus the production, it goes to 8. Yeah, but certainly the growth in 11 is a lot better than growth in 22. So, one turn faster settler would be nice, but not at the expense of that much growth. Yeah, that's exactly why. It didn't make a difference. There's one extra production stored up in the city, but it didn't make enough to speed the turn up. One thing to keep in mind, again, we lost again, but not too bad. And we are one more hit away from a promotion. And we are still stronger in overall strength. So we can hit again and get the promotion. The other thing to keep in mind, like I've said before, if you stand near a barb hut long enough, they will spawn out a unit to protect itself. So you got to make sure you're not standing there too long. I may have already stood there too long, to be honest with you. A ton of 2/2 tiles out here. Lots of possibilities for where to settle. I still kind of feel like selling the Jade's not a bad idea because it's in the way of a lot of adjacency possibilities. Because if you're to settle here, then it's kind of in the way of like maybe doing a commercial hub or wanting to do something like that. It's just in the way. But if you settle on top of it, you can still do like commercial hub or your aqueduct, and you did aqueduct, holy site, something like that. And then commercial hub, and had all kinds of different options, I guess. Whereas it just gets in the way when it's in such a good spot.
If there are no dogs in heaven.
So there's a first meet on Hattusa, but it was, or sorry, not a first meet, a meet on Hattusa, but not a first meet. Hattusa's solid. Depending on how much land you have, because sometimes you just need that extra luxury or extra resource that you didn't get. Promotion available. That was a close matchup. We're good enough standing on ideal terrain that he won't kill us if he try to attack us, so he won't attack us. We could take the promotion and finish that off. Interesting that was not a first meet, and he's on the water, so there's somebody close. It looks like the land goes like this, so this river is probably going here. I really believe there's a very good chance that there's somebody here. Let's take a quick look and find out, shall we? Settler lens. Oops, sorry. Continent lens I want to look at. We're actually on a continent split. That's actually very good for us. This river is going to have different luxuries than up here, which is very good. And let's also take a look at our loyalty lens. I was wrong. There is somebody close by. It's the Mongols, but they're actually right directly below us. I was thinking it was going to be here because it looks like it feels like the what do you call it? The land wants to go like this. This is probably their capital because it's got the extra strength, and it's probably like there, 8 tiles away from us. And then there's another tile. There's another city probably around here. There's probably their 2 cities right around there. Right in there. Good to know. Mining would allow us to chop stuff out of the way. Either one does the trick, I guess. Maybe we'll go mining first, actually. In case we did want to get a chop going. Okay, so we got a coast up here, so that's likely coast. Good chance that then, well, not a very good chance, probably almost a definite, that this land is all ours. Because this just tells us this is coast there, that's coast there. It's likely just goes like this. And if there was any city in this area, we'd have seen it in the influence on Hattusa. So we're pretty sure, once we confirm that this is all coast, that's our land. So we can kind of swing up this river and circle around to see our surroundings. Looks like there might be coast there, either that or a lake. And then this warrior, we're going to want to do our second city out here as quickly as we can before, preferably before we meet Mongolia. Hey Esther, how you doing, buddy? We're going to take that promotion. I'm surprised this hasn't spawned more units already. Unless they did it out the back and they're headed in a different direction. Go. Get the big hit there. +3 Era score. Opened up all kinds of vision. Even more mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a long ways away, and I'm pretty sure their cities are very close, so there's no way I'm getting to that settle. Hopefully there's a nice tile to settle on right in here somewhere. I am going to go to the hill and try and work my way through there. Settler in 5. I'll be able to get enough information by stepping on this hill to know where I'm going to settle, I think. There we go. That's our settle right there. It's far enough. We get it. It's 3 away, which isn't bad. But we have a ton of good tiles to work in the meantime. Okay.
It is not wisdom, but authority that makes a law.
Combat strength. And this is where you got to make the decision. We're going 1 a turn already. So we're at 14.6. I kind of don't mind the idea of running it as well. And that'll get us there really, like, just even for like 1 run. Until we get it 1 more and then we take it off after 1. It just makes sure we get there super fast. With this many chops, the power of Goddess of the Harvest is something that you really want to get your hands on. And wow, I just seen this. Look at that settle. Bingo, bango, a bongo. A pair of 3/2 tiles. What's actually funny, I actually might consider a settle there actually. And the holy site there. That's a +2 holy site on the river. And then put the city there. And then eventually you could depending on what's on this tile, you could actually settle there and put the aqueduct there and the holy site there. If that's a 2/2 city, if that's another one of 2/2 tiles there, I might consider that. That's interesting, folks. That is interesting. Indeed. Hopefully we discover a second continent. Well, a third continent, I guess, in this case. Let's step to here. Alright, so this looks like we're all the way to the top part of this continent. So, again, this is probably all ours. Looks like this is pretty good to being ours. This is possibly coast. Let me check that out on the settler lens, actually. That's actually coast right there. So this is kind of, it looks like we're kind of at the top of a peninsula here, where everything up here is kind of ours. And it certainly appears as though there's plenty of room for 2 cities. If you settle the Jade, it might be tight. But it looks like there's 2 cities there, maybe 2 coastal cities as well, or even 3. So there's a lot of room up there for you. You definitely want to stick around the river, and because the river adjacencies are very important for us, so we're definitely going to want to stick around that. But it looks like we've got lots of room. If we can settle forward here, I don't think we're going to be able to settle forward there, to be honest with you, on that river, but at least here, and it gives us lots of options. The river goddess. What's the river goddess? That gives you the increased growth. Why would you've already got so much growth? Do you really want to compound that? You're already getting a massive amount of growth. Do you really want to spend your pantheon exploiting that even more? Just gonna make sure that there's nothing up there. Okay. Not sure I like that idea. Okay, so I think I would probably end up putting a campus there to give this the extra adjacency, and going aqueduct commercial hub down this way maybe, or well, depending on this, the kind of, well, you need, yeah, that's probably what I do, because you could put the aqueduct on either one of these, I guess. Like that, and then you could always put your campus there to get the extra adjacency on the holy site. There's 3/2 tiles all over the place, making this city absolutely ridiculous. Oh, sorry. River Goddess adds an amenity for holy sites on rivers. Oh, sorry. That makes a lot more sense now. I was like, boom, you're smarter than that. Sorry, I don't know River Goddess there. Yeah, that's not bad actually. The extra amenity, because all your holy sites go on a river. Then yeah, that's a lot of extra amenities in your cities. Because now you've got the amenity from your aqueduct and the amenity from your holy city, right? In each city, that's 2 extra amenities. You're gonna be super happy. Okay, so this is river getting to the end here. So we're really on our own kind of end here. Looks like this is probably a good spot. You could potentially put a city there. And then a city a little further down. That might be a reasonable thought, to be honest with you. If you put a city there, and then a city 1 further down, I actually think I might like that better. And then you'd have to put a city here. Now you're taking advantage of all these 3-2 tiles. This city's got lots of stuff going on. You could still put its holy site there. And then you could actually do this, crazily enough. And then potentially... Yeah, this is what I do right here. And then you could put this aqueduct there. Or it could be the campus and then the aqueduct there. It doesn't really matter. Campus, aqueduct, doesn't matter. And then... if you were going campuses, anyway, that would be an option. Work in some adjacencies over there, potentially. I'm not on adjacency kick today, I apologize. Making the last video, for those of you who watched the one before this, we were playing Japan, and at the end of it, I went off on a tangent and went crazy with the adjacencies and that, and now I'm just on an adjacency kick. Kerbrick, I couldn't agree more. The pin mod is amazing. I love it. So anyway, there's possibilities both on the river, both +2s, and then eventually +3 with the districts. This city's you could put the aqueduct there or there. You'd have to lose a good tile in either case. That's a 5 food or a 3 food, 2 production, 2 gold. Either way, you're going to have to lose one of those tiles. It might not actually be a bad idea to put it here to add the adjacencies this way. Although these guys wouldn't benefit from any of it, actually. No, they'd all still be at 3. So, yeah. Lots of possibilities, I guess. But yeah, I think I like this option better. Simply because we know that he's close. And we know that this is probably like just essentially all our land back here. Maybe we can get 5 or 6 cities back here. So if we can get 2 on the forward here, it actually works out better for us. Let's go ahead and grab our monument so that we can start working that culture tree a little bit faster. And we're going to have this guy go in that direction instead. And you step
Behold
there.
the wonders of the heavens and earth.
We like that. There's your boost to astrology as well. Keep in mind, too, folks, I don't ever focus... Maybe I should more. I don't ever really actually focus on any sort of victory type in these first 40 turns. But if you were going for a religion, then on deity in particular, you would have already started astrology and been planning on getting your holy site built. In fact, you'd probably be building your holy site as we speak. So that's a good point that I should be making. And yeah. So, in fact, you would have had to start with mining in order to know that you were going to clear out that tree in order to put the holy site down. So and then you'd have to make sure you got a builder. So you'd actually go, you might actually go builder then settler, or settler then builder. If you're going to have 2 settlers, maybe get 2 cities down with holy sites, depending on your plan. But I don't get into that much detail about the victory condition, because then it kind of locks in the game. And I'm just kind of going for general adaptation strategies with this series. So if you're looking for specific strategies on how to get your religion and how to start things off like that, that's a whole other thing, right? So you would, if you were going for a religion and a religious victory, which I would absolutely suggest with these guys, your technology, you would actually be changing it slightly to make sure that you can chop down and get your holy site. Maybe that may be a better way to actually run this. I'm actually gonna take this promotion now. Would be to actually physically say with certain civilizations, actually going and getting the religion that you plan on needing, if you will. That closed off in a hurry. We love that. I actually enjoy the idea of putting a city right there on that corner. Brings the pearl in close. You've got a 2-2 there. You could settle the incense, but it moves these beautiful tiles further away. And I like having those really nice tiles close by. And that still brings in the jade settle as well. And then I'd probably settle something up in here. Bring in that 2-2 tile, that 2-2 tile. And you want to be close enough to grab that pearl there, so you have the extra copy. And then options out here would be further discussed. And also, by settling that, there's actually a settle on this river as well. You can actually settle right there. Whatever that tile is, that's where you can settle. That's 3 on that river. That's 3, that's 6. Maybe a city there is 7. City here is 8, 9. Not bad. I don't mind it at all. Okay. There's salt. Wasn't expecting him to be the first person I meet. He's right out there. So, oh, there's our Pantheon. Wow, both of the ones that we typically like to get are already gone on turn 21. Even though we were working 2 a turn. Okay, that's fine. Plus 2 faith for mines over luxury, and only mines though. You know, it was mentioned in chat there by Boom, the River Goddess. I can see us building, that's like 8, probably 8 amenities minimum. So with 8 amenities, that's essentially the equivalent of 2 free luxuries at all times. By going with that. Joanna, have a good night. And thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. I appreciate you being here, Joanna. Have a good night. And you have a lovely evening. That's a very, very, very strong possibility right there. But you know what? I think it was a good suggestion, and we're going to go with it. You stay awesome. And this forward settle on them is very interesting. I actually might consider the settle here first, so that they don't come and grab that on me. Although my two cities, yeah, because then it'll be fine for now, and then a settle here will help keep that very loyal. Plus, I'll be able to put a city up there as well. So I actually like the idea of coming and grabbing this one first. And then you want to get on your second settler as quickly as you could. Alright. Yeah, I think, you know, as I'm thinking about this now, just discussing it, in the future, what I may do is with certain civilizations that are kind of generally maybe ones you would consider to be kind of weak. And perhaps generally favored towards religion, so like kind of like Khmer here, India with Gandhi would have been a good candidate for that as well. Maybe have a couple of these first 40 turn runs at some point focus on getting the religion as well. Might not have been a bad idea. Wouldn't have been that big of a deal to do it, really. The only changes would have been your order of technology. You would have went mining first, skipped animal husbandry, and gone ahead and got astrology. So you went mining, astrology. You would have had to make sure you got a worker. Maybe you just would have made sure you worked enough gold to get it so you could buy the worker. Either case, you could always just build it after your settler. Step over, chop that down, get your holy site built, and, you know, get your shrine built or whatever you decide to do. Run. Maybe build 2 cities, get shrine or get holy sites in both. You'd have a number of different options on how you'd want to do that. But yeah, maybe it wouldn't have been an idea just to go ahead and work that in. 1 vote for a religion in the first 40 turns. Getting a religion in the first 40 turns isn't too difficult. It'd be close. You'd be very, very close if you didn't have it. My favorite strategy is actually to go scout, settler, get 2 cities settled, get religious sites in both, get the shrines in both, and you should get there pretty quick. That tends to be my favorite. Some people just rush to the first holy site without a settler, don't even worry about it. I don't mind pushing to that second city, to be honest with you. Tends to be the way I do it. But I absolutely, in the future, with this first 40 turns series, I'm going to spend the time getting a religion in 1 or 2 of them with civilizations that make sense to go grab it. Maybe when we do Poland would be a good example of when we could go ahead and grab a religion. Whoa. There's +2 for settling on a new continent. That is dangerous. What I could do, what I would actually suggest in this case, because that's going to start spawning units, my suggestion would be to buy that tile and clear that camp. Now, the thing that'll happen is you will not get benefit for clearing it, the era score. Either that or you could bring the warrior back. My warrior's not too far away. Yeah, let's bring our warrior back and see if we can get there. Monument. Because what I prefer to do, if I was going to buy a tile, would be to buy that 3-2 tile. Because we're gonna have population growth in 5, so I prefer to spend the money buying that tile. To be honest with you, to be quite honest, I much prefer the idea of buying that tile so that, and the reason why I buy it early and not wait 5 turns is that the price can go up. Better to buy it with 50 gold or 55 gold than 60 gold or whatever. So I know for sure in 5 turns I'm going to be at pop 2, and I'm going to need that tile. Now, it'd be fine if you didn't do that. You'd still be working a 2-2 here. But working that extra food on both of those, population is going to go up to 3 super fast. Then you're working all 3 tiles even sooner. And then that's that much quicker. You're getting 6 production from tiles like that, which is fantastic. So, those early decisions on maximizing your food and production output are incredibly important to the overall success that you may eventually come to. I'm just going to ignore this request because they'll probably consider that a forward settle as well because the game's a little broken in that sense. More than a little broken. Let's step to there. So certainly the possibility of a city out here. I don't know if you'd really want to put one there or not. To be honest with you, it doesn't look like there's going to be any good tiles that you're going to miss by not doing it. That It's too bad that that tile's not one further away. That'd be, if this whole section here was one further away, 2-2 city center with 3 2-2 tiles. As it stands, all of these tiles actually get worked into the city, so I actually don't mind just not even bothering with it. All of these tiles get into the capital, and all but a couple tiles out here get into this, so I actually don't mind the idea of not even putting a city out there. You're not going to have a river to put your districts on. Although you could put one district here, I guess. You could put your holy site there. You could put a city there, aqueduct. Not a bad idea, actually. You could potentially put one in there and make it work. Another, ooh, Babylon. Another city-state of the science variety. We do not want to let him win over them. Oh wow. That he's gone and settled another city right here. So we are going to be in a tight quarters with him. There's the monument. I immediately start thinking, yikes. Let's go ahead and send him a delegation. It might be the difference between early aggro and not. We've already settled near them for a -3. Our plans to settle near them again. Almost definite that we're going to go to war with him. Before we get that city down, I think it's the best idea to get some slingers out. Again, this is another one of those adaptations. In the first 40 turns, you've got to make them right away. There's no doubt that they don't want you to have the city, and we want it desperately. It's too nice of a city. If we can grab it and potentially even put a city up in here, we could put a lot of pressure on whatever city they put here for loyalty reasons. So getting some slingers, getting some military units out, and getting ourselves in a position where we can defend ourselves. He's already got a pretty big army. We're going to want to keep our eye on pushing to archers quick. It doesn't necessarily offensive war like we were in our last game there with the push towards Gandhi, where we were thinking, hey, let's go and crush this guy's dreams and take his land. This is a situation... I'm probably not going to have him go very far. I might just actually circle back. The thought process here is just get out your slingers. Even 3 of them is good. Get your archer technology, upgrade them, and then when they come at you, you can just kind of pelt them to death. Use the terrain to your benefit, and kill their army off. Just make sure you've got the defense. That's the most important thing, is just make sure you got the defense of the archers to fend off their battle. That is the key in that case. My plan was, and I forgot, and all this other discussion was to come back to here, so let's go do that. Surprised that's not spawning units. I guess because it won't do it unless the actual scout tells it to, maybe. That's the reason why. And I don't know if it spawned a scout, to be honest with you. Or maybe it did spawn that scout, and that scout took off before we could see it when we found the city. I'm not sure. Let's work writing. Keeping archery in the back of our minds. That might have been a mistake. I should have let him away, because I think he's going to be forced to step here and see the city, and then we're going to be in trouble. Yeah. May have gotten ourselves into a little bit of trouble there. Yeah, might have been a bit of a mistake there.
Every nation lives by exchanging.
That's definitely good. We don't need that anymore. We'll turn on our production card. We can go out here, try and get a Gogi. Could have switched over to a Gogi there, but I preferred to finish what we were doing. It's not as pressing a need as that we were experiencing earlier. Wow. Just as I'm in the middle of the sentence. I'm right in the middle of the sentence. A mistake was made. A mistake was made. Hey, Hot Chili, how you doing? So, as it turns out, the right decision may have been to actually settle here now and get in the way of the Mongols. Because now with the Mongols forward settling us, it's turned into a situation where it's going to have to be an offensive war if we want that piece of land, which we do. That is extremely, extremely disappointing. He's all over us.
Writing means...
I want to box this thing because I can get the kill with a slinger. Time to start working ourselves towards that. He's going to step to there. I need him to walk away. If he steps to there, he's dead. If he steps to there, I can hit him once. Steps to there, I can box him. There's your Era score. Yeah, so it's come to the point now where you're gonna be very happy about those horses, because eventually, whether it's now or you probably earlier better than with Genghis. Go ahead and grab yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I think I could move either way, but he's gonna step there, not knowing that those slingers are there, because he doesn't have knowledge of where the slingers are because of the hills, the jungle. So he's gonna step to there and get crushed. Let's skip that. He is going to come back to the city and heal. I'm gonna after the slinger. No, I think that's it. 4 slingers, because we're gonna get to horsemen. I'm gonna go slinger builder. There's your boost to both. After this slinger, I'm gonna go builder. That gives us 4 archers, and we're gonna go get those horses, and we are going to immediately push to here. Right after archer, we're gonna push to that. You're gonna get your horses. You'll go to war with him. We could throw out one more. No, we can't before archer's done. I am going to go ahead and say a trader wouldn't hurt. I'm going to tell you why. Because if we can actually send a trade route to him, it would give us a road to get there. And also, if we could ever complete it, it would give us the ability to have higher visibility, or diplomatic visibility. Because, of course, Mongolia has that extra bonus for higher diplomatic visibility. So if we can actually get that over him, that would be a big advantage. Have him go there. No, I shouldn't have done that. Damn it. I'll go to there and I'll heal the next turn. Yeah. Turn 39 on Temple of Artemis. Ooh. Alright, so there's visual on the city. I'm just kind of roaming around here, but eventually I'm going to want to be able to move back and get the promotions. And there's our final slinger. One turn before we finish archery. We're going to have... that actually gives us a Gogi late. But it's fine because it actually gets us to where we're going to want to get military tradition, which gives us the production towards the cavalry units. So in 5 turns, we'll be able to turn on that maneuver card and spit out horses. And I'm just trying to think. Only got the 1 horse, so we're going to have to build a military camp in order to get them, actually. That would be another thing you have to discuss as well with yourself. So this builder is going to have to chop something out. You can start to think about maybe here we'll give an adjacency, because if you're going to put your holy site there, you put your encampment there. It is a bit of a cost in order to have to build an encampment. But when you're going for if you're going for a holy victory, then it really doesn't matter that much anyway. But at any rate. That allows you to build your horsemen. Clearing this out and giving you all that space is absolutely of paramount importance. Yeah, my plan would not be to lose in combat. Yeah, no, that's a good point. His cavalry have a chance of taking. So if his cavalry take your cavalry in a defeat and defeat your cavalry, then that means they have a chance of taking your cavalry and giving them extra units, which really hurts. The reason why I want to go cavalry against him is because I want to take his cities. So you got to try and push to, hope he has enough horses, but you got to try and push, kill his units with your archers, counterattack with your horses, and take his cities. If we were just playing defense, I wouldn't go anywhere near. But you're right, anti-cavalry would be a good idea. In fact, I might even consider anti-cavalry. Turning on a Gogi right now actually would be a good idea. You can build some anti-cavalry units. It's actually a very good idea, Boom. After this trader's done, I would probably build 2 or 3 spearmen, which would allow me to kind of set up a position where if he did bring his horses, I could combat that and have my horses flank around. That would be a very good idea. This is an example where your game can kind of turn military. It's getting greedy. You've got lots of space back here. You could easily just shell up, eat the fact that you didn't get that city. That was a bit of a mistake. I was going here hoping that stopping him from maybe trying to forward settle me. And I should have thought about the fact that he was going to forward settle me, and he did. I should have went city here first, and then the city that would have been much better. But yeah, you could easily just shell up, live with the fact you lost that city, move back here, put in 6 more cities. 8 cities is pretty solid, particularly for a religious win. It's plenty. If you're going for other kind of victory, you'd have to play with that. But yeah, push to horses. That's it. 40 turns. We'll find which way to go. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's how it can happen. If I had gotten that city, and like if I had gotten that city first and been in good shape, I wouldn't even have worried about this. But at this point, that's too good of a city. Maybe it's too much of a cost. I don't know. There's two ways to look at that. Some people might say, "Why are you doing it that way?" Just fall back, put your cities back here. Don't even worry about it. At the end of the day, he's probably coming for you anyway. When you're this close to the Mongols, and he doesn't like the fact you've already forward settled him, there's a pretty good chance that he's going to come for you anyway, so you might as well be ready. Fight him out, win the battles, take his cities, take his land, and could you imagine just drawing a line right here and saying, all of this is mine? At that point, with that many cities, I don't care which civilization you are, if you do it right, work your adjacencies properly, literally every victory condition is on the table with that much land. But that's it! It's been 40 turns! I hope you enjoyed. I am going to try to find a civilization in the future where we can actually focus, or even a couple of them, getting that religion. Actually pursuing the religion, not just talking about the possibilities if you did. And we'll try to mix that into the flavor of first 40 turns. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, and comment, if you please. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.